What's up, y'all? Welcome to Slayton Mobile Gaming. I am so excited today to start a brand new journey with you into the Warcraft universe because we're starting Warcraft Rumble together. Now, I've been playing this game a whole bunch. I have played literally every single thing in the Warcraft world, in the Warcraft universe, in the World of Warcraft, throughout the entire run of this franchise, so I'm so pumped to have it available on mobile, and huge thank you to Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring this video. It's super exciting to jump off on this journey with them and with you, so let's go ahead and take a look at the game. Warcraft Rumble is a collector game where you level up your army, level up your heroes, and find ways to beat both PvE and PvP content. Gives you both of those great things to work your way through. And for those of you who've done team building or deck building games before, some of this will seem very familiar, and some of it will seem new and challenging and exciting to you. Here is something you might have seen before, a really cool map to go through different parts of the Warcraft world, the Plaguelands, Blackrock Mountain, for those of you old school raiders, places for you to go and try out these skills that you've developed, and of course, the power of your minis. And yes, this game is all about the minis. Every single time that you build an army, you build it around a different hero, different champion from, in this case, we call them families, but you might also know them as different factions from the Warcraft world. So familiar faces like Tyrion Fordring or Jaina Proudmoore, or of course, if you are like me and love going over into the Horde, that's right, Rend Blackhand. So lots of really cool heroes from the Warcraft universe that you get to come play with today that will lead your different armies. And each one of these heroes is really, really important as they bring massive abilities that help support your team overall in beating their goals and finding the correct synergy, not just between the different minis that make up your army, but also between those minis and your hero and how that might match up on different content, whether you're trying to beat a certain boss in PvE or whether you're trying to become really dominant in player versus player combat. That synergy is really critical, and I'll show you one of my favorites today when we get into some gameplay. Now, like I said, this is all about building your armies. You can see all these different troops have their troops and spells have their own different levels, and the way we level them up is by going through the game, purely by playing the game. You can get those leveled up. You can also check out your daily offers like this one. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, look at this. I am definitely excited about that. As you can see, we actually have the Huntress in our army today, so a little bit more for her is going to be great. Let's go back there and see what else we've got to unlock. And ooh, this is the grid. This is a major place for finding big rewards to use the gold that you've gotten to unlock different things. And you see I have 270 gold, which is just enough to really get something good. I'm going to go ahead and recombobulate my grid, thank you Gnomish inventors, to see if we can find something that I need. And I've been running skeletons a lot here, but I don't actually need skeletons right now. What I do need is a Quillboar. Ooh, level 7 uncommon Quillboar. This is great, as the Quillboar is actually a really key part of one of the decks that I'm trying to build, one of the teams I'm trying to build, and one that I haven't had. So getting a level 7 uncommon Quillboar right now, getting a higher rarity, and I'll show you about rarities in just a moment, this is actually massive, because now I can take that Quillboar, and let's go back to the deck, the team I'm running today. Ooh, level up here, some XP, a quest tome. Oh my gosh, this was actually huge. This happened just now? That was totally not planned. That's super cool. Where do I pick all those up? Oh, well, let's actually go ahead and hit the next there and see what else I get for a free. Oh, another big red button. Nice. That's very useful. Very, very cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at my army. So, here is what I'm doing. I'm running Tyrion Fordring, who's one of the most powerful heroes in all of the game. And why? Well, if we get to his special ability, Holy Light, heals all nearby friendly units. So one of my goals is going to be to stack Tyrion Fordrings together and make those big clumps for pushes I get be really, really hard to beat. And I'm mixing him with a lot of really cool troops here. And this is the big one I need to make a change. I have been running Null Brute, who's really a pretty solid, especially once you get this Rabid ability, solid 2-cost gold troop for us to use. But the deck I'm trying to run needs Quillboar. So we're going to go ahead and equip Quillboar, and we are almost to all the pieces that I want to put this together. This is actually really cool. Let's go ahead and jump into a game so you understand the basic mechanics of how this game runs. Again, some of these things you might find familiar. Some of these things are going to be very new for you. So let's go ahead and jump in and play a game. We'll go ahead and do one in an area that's not too difficult. We'll go jump. All right, let's go ahead and play this one. Boom, against Gulia. Gulia will restore her health by devouring your fallen troops. So this is a one where I don't want to have a lot of small, spammy troops that would die really easily because I don't want to give Gulia a lot of health back. So let's go ahead and jump into our game here. Now, one thing that you'll see, and that's really helpful, is whenever you jump into a new map, let's see if we can see it. You can jump into a new map. You'll see some different nodes we want to control, some of these meeting stones that when someone controls them, then you can deploy troops there, as opposed to in your own area. These right here, these gold veins, will help you, if you're used to the Warcraft world, mine gold to have more resources. You can grab some of these treasure chests, too, that will respawn. But then over here, here's Gulia. And then you can also check out all these different troops and see what they do. Sometimes there are more interesting or more challenging objectives or barriers or things on the board, and I'll show you some tooltips later that kind of help you navigate those. But this is kind of an easier fight. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. So starting things off, I have one of my tanks available. Let's see where they're going. You see my gold is slowly filling. I'm going to go ahead and set this tank up on this side. And then I'm going to throw... my Quill Boar behind. And this deck is really... Oh, there we go. This deck is a lot about putting stuff behind my tanks and then having big DPS, especially with Tyrian Fordring. That early tank, though, is I think going to go down. But that's okay. And you see I got a lot of damage coming behind my Tyrian Fordring on the right-hand side. But I got a big problem here on the left-hand lane. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually put these Defias Bandits that are very, very powerful for just 1 gold. And we are going to try to get as much DPS on this giant pile of rocks as we can before it destroys our base. Right? Something's familiar here might be some of the tower defense elements. Right? I'm defending my base. They're trying to defend theirs. You can see this fight's still happening up there. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit more support here with some Harpies that are flying, and they can get on top of this really, really nasty fellow right there. Let's go ahead and put some more troops on the right-hand side. I don't really have a good tank to go in front of those, which is going to be unfortunate. Now we're going to go ahead and try to mine some resources here on the left-hand lane. You're going to watch him go right for the gold vein. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. That you can see that Tyrian Fordring still alive, so powerful. And now we're going to support with, now that we've taken this node, you see this node is now ours up here. Now we can actually throw some support there. So I'm going to get another Tyrian Fordring. Maybe they can even stack if he gets up there. This is their boss. Once I just take their boss down, we have the win. I'm feeling pretty confident about that right now. So let's go ahead and throw a little bit more into this left-hand lane, and we got this. Golden, baby. Let's go. Making money moves. So that was a pretty easy fight. This is some content that I've already beat, and you can grind old content for what you just saw. I just leveled up my Defias Bandits by grinding older content. So you're going to find, and we're going to address some of it, there's some hard content in here you might not be able to beat. But if you're like me, if you're a grinder, if you come from the Warcraft universe, then you're used to some pretty cool grinding opportunities. And this is one where now we got our Defias Bandits up one more level, up to level 12. They are real strong now, and they're going to be even more helpful in some of these other fights that we go through. So now we'll take on another fight here. Notice that some of these fights, they have these little sigils in front of them, right? They show us these little dragon faces. Well, those sigils, those are part of the progression. As you earn certain milestones of sigils, you're able to unlock new things like new leaders, new choices, or we're very close to unlocking the heroic campaign, which takes levels you've already beat and gives you new objectives and a much harder bar to jump over to get those done. So lots of really fun stuff for you to unlock as you go through your journey of collecting sigils. So we're going to try to do a fight that I've had lots of trouble with, but this kind of shows how deep the strategy can be. I have not been able to beat the Blood Mage Thalnos fight with most of my compositions, but we're going to try something a little bit different that might strategically be better for what the Blood Mage Thalnos does. And let's go ahead and jump back in here. We're going to go away from Tyrian Fordring, which is the deck I've mostly been working on. Instead, we're going to switch right over here to our Baron Rivendare. So one sigil in particular I've been having trouble getting is in this Lordaeron fight right here with Blood Mage Thalnos. He's been so difficult for me, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to try to change strategies here and how important that can be when trying to take on a fight. So instead of going with my Tyrian Ford Ring deck I've been building, we're going to go over to one I've been trying to get ready for this one with our Baron Rivendare, who, if you played World of Warcraft, might remember the fight against Baron Rivendare was a super fun fight. Well, now he's on our side, which is super cool. So for this one, Baron Rivendare, his ability to periodically summon skeletons at buildings you control is really helpful for clogging up the lane and both distracting one of your opponents here who tries to pull troops to him and for engaging the Banshees who take over and turn your troops against you. So this will be really huge. Let's look at the troops we're going to be using to support Baron Rivendare in this fight. First, we're going to go with a little bit of Stonehoof Tauren, who's a really great tank here. It's nice to have at least one solid tanky troop in there to keep everything else alive. We're going to again go with Harpies. Harpies are really, really powerful when they're behind a tank, and they can do a ton of damage. And we also like having both them and the Defias Bandits because they can do some good distraction against the Banshees. More on those girls later. Also, you can see when we get into the uncommon area, you begin to unlock as you rank up your troops. You can unlock special abilities. So on Defias Bandits, when they die, they can stun a target for 3 seconds, which is super duper helpful. Another ability that I have unlocked for one of my troops here, one of the best troops in the game, the Griffin Rider, Mighty Throw. As you can see, +3 range. Well, yes, because this is a flying ranged unit who now is going to have a ton of range, able to stay way behind my tanks and do a whole lot of damage. We're going to use the Quillbore to get specific attacks in on certain troops when we want them. And then this one who's really fun, the Safe Pilot, who's kind of a mixture of spell and troop. You can spawn them on troops to hurt them, and you can also use them behind your tanks to do some nasty range damage. So that's going to be our team comp to go up and try to beat Blood Mage Thalnos, which I've never done. Let's see if I can do it right here for the first time in this video. Oh, I really want this to happen. I really, really want this to happen. Because this is a really difficult fight for me, and I would love to get past it. Okay, so we have the Banshee, who possesses some of your troops. You see how it says she's weak against squad? That's why we have the Bandits in here. That's why we have the Banshees in here, because hopefully we're able to get through her and not give away too much value of her possessing one of my big-time troops. This will be a key target for us to take over this guard tower so that our opponent can no longer deploy troops right inside, like right so close to our base that we're trying to defend. And then, yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to get this Shadow Magic. It's going to be important to also try not to clump up too much when we think that Shadow Magic might be coming next. So we're going to try to avoid that. Let's go ahead and jump into the fight. Now, you see some spawns going to the left-hand side, but it's the one that's about to come to the right that I'm actually far more concerned with. So at the moment, we're going to just go ahead and get a tank down. And see that Banshee just took over that skeleton? I love that. That makes one of the great things about Blood Mage Thalnos here. We're going to send the Quillbore behind this attack in order to get on some of those troops way back in there. And let's see. I think I'm going to ignore everything there on the left right now and just try to double down over here on the right. No, I don't want to take all that damage. Let's go ahead and put out some bandits. You can see this fight on the right-hand side is already really, really hard. We're going to go ahead and try to get control of this node and start mining. But gosh, that guy is so thick and tanky. But can we take this Expo over here? Crossbows down. It is now ours. You can see right now it's taking a moment to switch over into our support. And that Banshee taking over that is great. And notice how I'm going to let the Griffin Rider go to the left to avoid this Banshee and not turn that into a big problem for me. I need to, so that Banshee, cool, that Banshee's out of the way. These Banshees are maybe the most annoying part of this fight. Let's go ahead and drop a little bit of Safe Pilot right over there. And I really want to defend this node. I do not want to lose this spot in this fight. You can see my battery's dying because I've been playing this game so much. All right, we're going to set up a Baron Rivendare right here, and then we're going to throw bandits on top. And I really want some of those bandits to survive. They didn't. Let's go ahead and throw some Harpies to distract this Banshee. And there we go. Now Griffin behind the Banshee there. I see a Banshee on the left. As soon as I get bandits again, we're going to go ahead and push this left-hand lane. Right now, what I need to do is actually go ahead and put a little bit more damage on to the boss here. This left-hand lane's really annoying. Banshee's going to go to that skeleton. Love seeing that. Now she's no longer a problem. Let's go ahead and start putting some work in on this side. I'm going to go ahead and drop a safe pilot right there one more time. You can see I'm kind of losing this fight on the right-hand side. So now you can see, and this is a really, I love that this is the fight that we're doing right now, because this is the first video, and I could be showing you like some really easy stuff, which I already did earlier in the video, but I really wanted y'all to see just the level of depth this game can get to. I messed up that. I messed that up. Let's go ahead and protect. There we go. I think I'm holding. Man, that's a tough level situation. 9 against 7. I think that will hold well enough. Let's go ahead and put a Griffin Rider on this side, and then let's put some bandits here just to try to win that fight. And let's go get some more gold out of this. Yes, great charge on the Banshee there. Great charge on the Banshee. You guys see that? That charge on the Banshee was absolutely massive. Okay, now we need to really push the pace. So I am going to get ready. We're going to tank this fight on the left-hand side. Right, we got to get a tank down. So let's get a tank down. Let's get a Griffin Rider down. Let's do a safe pilot behind all this. We're winning this fight, but we really have to push the pace now. So let's go ahead and get a Quillbore right on there. Let's get a Baron Rivendare going here. I gotta take that out. And we're actually going to cycle like crazy now. We're just going to try to see how can I really do some good spawns on here and get the damage that I need. I need to throw a safe pilot there. I think we can do this. Does that safe pilot do it? Oh, let's go! I have been trying to beat this fight for so long, and we did it here on the very first video that we're doing for Warcraft Rumble. That is super awesome. That is super duper awesome, and a great example of the depth of strategy that it takes, right? If you look at how that fight went down, right, we had our tank charging in there to kind of break through against, oh, let's claim this reward. Let's go, and another sigil. That's so huge, and I only have 2 more sigils to go before I can unlock my next progression. But this fight was really, I mean, we talked about it right before, right? These different pieces here were so critical. Not only were we getting tanking from here, but Stonehorf Torrens' charge was able to charge past the Banshee, taking him over, right? And then, of course, using these swarmy troops to distract the Banshee as well. The skeletons that Baron Rivendare would spawn distracting the Banshees. So basically, we took the Banshees completely out of the game. And then the huge part, having both the Quillbore, who can burrow and go right where he wants to, and our safe pilot getting the dub, the final dive and win. All those things came together to make this fight, which I've been trying to win for so long, actually happen right here. So I'm super, super excited for that. And I'm super excited to keep showing you more cool things about Warcraft Rumble as we go through this game together. And I get to invite you into this really cool opportunity to finally have Warcraft in your mobile device, in your pocket, all the time. I want to say one more time, huge thanks to Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring this video. I'm so excited to be working together and bringing this game to all of you. We'll be talking a lot about the PvP elements, about how to beat some major PvE content, about the best ways to focus on upgrading your troops, all that and more right here on Slayton Mobile Gaming. That's it for today. As always, be excellent to each other and party on, dude. Peace.